When you're thinking about where to stay in Hiroshima, there's advice from people who visited once and only once. And then there's me who lived there for a year and has been back to visit at least 25 times. So let's talk about the obvious places to stay in Hiroshima. The first is near to the Peace Park. This is where you've got the A-bomb dome and also the Peace Memorial Museum. So this is where you're going to do most of your sightseeing. It's also right next to downtown, so you've got plenty of restaurants, bars and cafes and good shopping too. But at night time especially, you've got the best atmosphere here. It's also pretty good during the day as well, although it does get crowded, but I'll come back to that later. Now, some of the best hotels in this area are on the Peace Boulevard, and I think this is sort of the best scenery that you can get when you're staying at a hotel. The Peace Boulevard is just a really wide street. It's the leafiest, it's the greenest, it's a little bit on the quiet side. I kind of like that area. So one of the advantages of staying in downtown is that you've actually got a speedy ferry that goes to Miyajima, which means you don't have to go back to Hiroshima Station to get on the train to go there. If you can go from the center of the city, you save yourself quite a bit of travel time. You will have to pay a bit more for that though, but I'll put links in the description. Okay, let's talk about the downsides of staying in and around the Peace Park. It can be pricey around here and it can book out quickly. Like I said before with the crowds, it can get busy. There's also one thing that you need to know, and that is the trams in Hiroshima are quite slow. So if you're taking the tram from Hiroshima Station to come down here, it will take a lot of time. So what I'd recommend to you is either take a taxi or take a bus, depending on how much money you want to spend. That's kind of a pro tip for anybody visiting Hiroshima. It's to know that the tram is really slow and it's often just best to take the train or the bus if you can, or maybe even just walk, frankly. Okay, the other obvious place to stay in Hiroshima is going to be around Hiroshima Station. This, of course, has the best access to the Shinkansen. It means that when you get off, you don't have to get on a slow tram to go to your hotel because, well, the hotels are right around the station. The other good point about this is that the trains that are going down to Miyajima, well, they're going from Hiroshima Station too. So if you're a couple of minutes walk away, you can just get in very easily. There's a reasonable selection of restaurants and bars in this area, although it's kind of very shiny and a little bit gentrified. I would say though that one of the plus points is that because it's a new area that's being developed, a lot of the hotels are new, and because of that, it might be more comfortable for you. So the downsides of staying in this area, it just doesn't have the character that you get in downtown. One thing that you really need to know as well is that the Mazda Stadium is about a 15-minute walk away from Hiroshima Station. So around the station area can get insanely busy if it's a baseball game day. So it might be a good idea to check the baseball schedule when you're planning a trip. Super busy around there. You just get lost in crowds. Now, if you're finding this video useful, then I'm sure you'll love my free insider email. I pack it full of Japan travel advice, destination recommendations, and also hidden gems that I don't normally talk about in my videos. And when you sign up, I'll also give you my free Japan Plan Launchpad, which shows you how to plan your trips in the exact same way that I do. So go and check out the pinned comment for the link to sign up, or you can scan the QR code on screen now. Okay, let's talk about the wildcard areas to stay. And the first place that springs to mind is to stay actually on Miyajima. That's the World Heritage Site with the Torii Gate in the sea. The good point about staying on Miyajima is that a lot of people are coming in here in the mornings and leaving at night, and it can get super, super busy. But the point about staying on Miyajima is that you just avoid all that trouble because you're here, right? So you can get up early and have the island all to yourself, and you can have a really relaxing time at night time. I've done this. It's one of the things I just wish I'd done much sooner. It was that much fun. Now, the downside of this, of course, is that it's as pricey as it gets. So you need to book well in advance if you want to get the best deals. I will also say as well that Miyajima does have quite a few good cafes and restaurants, but at night time, some of them will already be closed because they only cater to the daytime crowds. The next wildcard area is to stay not on Miyajima, but on the coast opposite, whether it's around the port area or a little bit further afield. So it's sort of outside the city, but you've got like a 5-minute ferry ride to get onto the island. Now in this area, you've got a wide range of hotels. You've got some kind of resort hotels where they've got like sort of hot spring baths on the rooftops where you can look out to sea. And then you've got sort of more ordinary places to stay as well. Now, sometimes you can get a better deal on these hotels than if you stay over on Miyajima. Obviously, people want to stay on Miyajima. It's kind of got that more exclusive feel. If you're going to stay on the coast, though, it's more like a kind of compromise situation where you're kind of closer than if you stayed in Hiroshima City, but you're not on that island. I think there's a really big downside to staying down here, and I think it just doesn't have the atmosphere you get over in the city. You don't have quite as many choices with places to eat in the evenings. So I would say that staying on the coast opposite to Miyajima is probably not the place I would recommend. I think I'd only stay here if there weren't good choices elsewhere. I think one of the ways you could get around this downside is if you just stayed in the city to have your dinner and then just got on the train to come down here. It takes about 30 minutes to get to Miyajimaguchi, which is the station opposite Miyajima. So let's talk about the area that I recommend. This is around Yokogawa Station. This is kind of a sneaky trick location. You've got excellent access when you come here because it's part of the JR line. So instead of getting on one of the slow trams, you can just get on a local JR train and go for 2 stops, get off, and there you are at Yokogawa Station. If you're going to take the JR line to go to Miyajima, well, Yokogawa Station is already 2 stops closer than if you were staying around Hiroshima Station. It also means that you've got access to speedy tram connections, much speedier than if you were over at Hiroshima Station, that are going to bring you into the centre. I really can't get my head around why more people don't stay up in this area, but probably it's because there aren't as many hotels up here, which means it's quieter. There are plenty of great cafes and restaurants though, I know, because I used to live around here. But if you want to stay here and the hotels are booked up, look into some Airbnbs, because I think it's just one of the best places in Hiroshima. It feels a lot less touristy and a lot more local. Okay, I lived in Hiroshima. I've been back to Hiroshima so many times. Of course, I've got hotels that I'm going to recommend. So if you want to be right there in downtown on the leafy Peace Boulevard and have a bit of luxury, then the Crowne Plaza, well, that's just about in the perfect location near to the Peace Park. And of course, you've got downtown right on your doorstep when you want to go out to eat. If you want to have a lot of peace and quiet and fantastic views of the sea, then think about staying at the Grand Prince Hotel, which is right there down on the coast next to Hiroshima Port. It's a bit further out. It is a 20-minute taxi ride to the A-bomb dome, but you do get unbeatable views of the Seto Inland Sea. I think it's one of those hidden, no, invisible, great locations in Hiroshima. Okay, if you want to stay on Miyajima, then Sakuraya is my pick. It's right there in front of the sea. You've got the best views that way, and it's like 3 minutes walk from the port. So really, what's not to like? If you want to stay near to Hiroshima Station, there's only one place that I'd recommend. It's Hotel Flex. It's got a superb location. A few minutes from the station, you get off your Shinkansen, walk over here, you can be done and asleep in a matter of minutes. The absolute best thing about staying here is that it's right next to the river, and they've got a terrace. And when you have breakfast in the morning, which is a fantastic breakfast, by the way, you can just look out onto the river. So relaxing, so much fun, great place to stay. So I hope that helps you figure out where you want to stay in Hiroshima. But what about everything else on your trip? Well, I've got one video of all my very best tips and advice that'll point you in the right direction. And it's up here. So enjoy, and I'll see you.